I suddenly woke up in my bed, gasping for air. I sat up and looked down at my watch. It was now 11:59, 1 minute to go and it would be 12 o'clock. I sat up from the bed, walked to the window and looked down. The road was full of traffic, and the time was just pointing to 12 o'clock. There was a commotion downstairs. I looked down and saw a large crowd gathered by the flower beds, and a piercing murmur of voices slowly reached my ears.
Isn't that the son of the Zhang family? Why is he over the rooftop?
Did someone call the police? Oh my god, it's so dangerous.
Oh no, it looks like he's about to fall.
God, he's falling.
I'm standing in front of the window and haven't realized what's going on. A figure fell from before my eyes. I froze in place, motionless, my eyes slowly losing focus, and I dared not lower my head to take a look. Zhang Huan was dead. He died in the summer of June, at 12 o'clock on the 12th of June. My name is Xia Yan. I am a senior student at Jinan High School. The boy who had the accident is called Zhang Huan. He is my childhood friend. We have known each other since we were young. When exactly did we meet? I kind of can't remember. It happened the week before the school festival. We were walking at the same time.
Xia Yan, did Qiao Yan find you yesterday for something?
Nothing. He confessed to me.
Then did you agreed?
Not yet, but Qiao Yan is our senior. He is nice and handsome, and he helped me before. I had a little crush on him. When I got home at noon that day, Zhang Huan fell down from the building. I don't know why he was on the rooftop. After the police investigated, there was not enough evidence to point to his murder, and it was also uncertain whether he committed suicide. I woke up from my bed again and began to pant. I hurriedly looked down at my watch. It was now pointing to 11:55. This was the third time I had woken up. Yes, I'm stuck in a loop that I don't know how to get out of. The loop would always end when Zhang Huan fell from the rooftop, and I'd fall back into the loop again. I think Zhang Huan's death is the key to unlock the loop. I must find out how Zhang Huan died. The bustle of voices began again downstairs, and this time I gradually heard something different from before. I walked quickly to the window.
Is there anyone who can come and save him? It seems like he's about to fall.
Seems like. I repeat the words I just heard slowly in my mouth. Does this mean that Zhang Huan did not commit suicide? I have no idea whether it was a homicide or an accident now. While I was still in the process of thinking, the familiar figures fell from my sight once again. I gradually lost consciousness. I opened my eyes again. This time I woke up without the palpitations in the past. Very calmly I slowly sat up and looked down at my watch. It was 12:30. Oh my goodness, how can it be 12:30? Why, the time was back to after the accident. I remembered that the day of the accident was cloudy. Why is the weather so nice today?
Sweetheart, why haven't you gotten up yet? Didn't you have a date with your friends to go shopping at 2 p.m.?
Shopping? Isn't there a class in the afternoon? Today? What day is it?
You're sleeping too much. Today is the weekend.
Weekend? I ran to my desk and flipped out the calendar. It's now June 5th, which means I'm back to a week before accident happened. Sorry, Mom, I was a little bit unconscious. Mom, I have something to do. I have to skip lunch and go out for a while. I need to find Zhang Huan right away. I went to all the places where he would be, including his home, but I couldn't find him. Where would he go? I just remembered that Zhang Huan part-time job here. Why did I always forget what he was doing, or rather, I never paid any serious attention to him. His figure looked busy. He was carefully taking care of the flowers. It looked considerate and gentle. In order to find out the reason for Zhang Huan's death, I planned to follow him secretly. I found out that he was feeding stray cats near the neighborhood after the work. I also found that he would take piano lessons. I never knew he would do these before. I watched him from afar and followed him into the neighborhood. Huh? When did it get so good with him? This cat seems to have been picked up by me, but I can't remember exactly when. Leave it at home. It has always been taken care of by my mother. I don't know when it suddenly became so good with Zhang Huan. Zhang Huan went home and I went back to mine. I sat on my bed and pondered. Through today's observation, I didn't find anything strange, and I didn't understand why Zhang Huan would suddenly had an accident. Everything happened in a normal way, nothing strange. But I realized that I hadn't paid much attention to Zhang Huan's life for a long time like this. We've known each other for as long as I can remember. I don't really remember why. Then when I grew up, I would play with other girls and we gradually drifted apart. I really haven't cared about him for a long time. Thinking of this, I opened my phone and sent him a message. Zhang Huan, are you free tomorrow?
Yes, is there anything wrong?
Well, tomorrow is weekend. I'm not particularly good at math. Is it okay if I go to your house to ask for some help?
Sure, how about tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock?
Okay, see you tomorrow?
See you!
Next day, I arrived at Zhang Huan's door at 2 o'clock on time. I rang the doorbell. There was a quick response from inside.
I'm coming. Xiaoyan, come in.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you.
It's okay.
I walked into his room and carefully observed his room as he went out to cut fruit for me, trying to find some clues. And there was what looked like a picture of him as a child on the end of his bed. He was wearing a white t-shirt and smiling boyishly. It feels like I've seen this photo somewhere before. Where is it? It feels so familiar.
Xiaoyan, have some fruit.
Okay, thanks. I took out my homework and we started learning. My math grades are average, so I really don't understand these knowledge points very well. Zhang Huan hadn't taught for long before I started to get sleepy. I felt my vision gradually blurring, and then seemed to lie down on the table. I seemed to hear Zhang Huan calling me.
Xiaoyan, Xiaoyan.
When I woke up again, it was already dusk. As I opened my eyes, I saw Zhang Huan's face. He was also sleeping on the table, facing me. His eyelashes are long and fluttering slightly. I stood up and wanted to leave, but suddenly found one of his hands was gently tugging on the corner of my clothes.
Like you.
I heard him whisper something. I moved closer to him.
Like, I like you, Xiaoyan.
My face swished red. I hadn't thought that Zhang Huan's sleep-talking were actually liking me. Walking on the road, I've been thinking, when did it all start? We've known each other since we were kids. We played together and went to school together. I didn't realize when he started liking me. He's always been a person who doesn't show much emotion.
Zia Yan, what a coincidence to meet you here.
Hi, Xiaoyan.
I saw you from afar. Are you in trouble?
Nothing. I went to tuition today. I feel a little tired. I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired. I should go back.
Zia Yan, are you free for this week's celebration?
This week? I'm sorry. I might have something to do this week.
Ah, it's nothing.
I'll leave first if there's nothing else.
Okay.
This week is the week when Zhang Huan had an accident. I must find out the cause of his death. When I went home at night, my mind kept repeating Zhang Huan's dream words. I recalled the events of the past few days and then slowly falling asleep. When I opened my eyes again, I woke up suddenly. I suddenly sat up from the bed, constantly gasping for air, as if there was something pressing on my chest. I glanced down at my watch, 11:20. June 12th? Why would I wake up straight to that day? I rushed out of the house and went straight to Zhang Huan's house. I pounded on the door, but nothing happened. I was so anxious, then ran downstairs to look for him, but couldn't find him either. At this time, I realized that my cat had disappeared as well. When I got home, I met Mr. Li and his family downstairs. Uncle Li, have you seen Zhang Huan?
Zhang Huan. Oh, I saw him going upstairs. He seems sad that the cat ran up.
Thank you, Uncle Li. I quickly ran to the rooftop and pushed open the door. Zhang Huan! I saw Zhang Huan lying on the railing of the rooftop, and the cat was also on it not far away. He heard me calling him and looked up.
Xiaoyan!
Don't move! I'm very nervous. He's too dangerous now. I'm really afraid that he'll fall.
Xiaoyan, kitten is.
Before he could finish his sentence, the piece of railing he was lying on began to loosen and he fell right out of my sight. I rushed over and shouted, Zhang Huan! I woke up from my bed again and sat up quickly. Then I looked down at my watch. It was now 12 o'clock sharp, and it was sunny outside the window. I glanced at the calendar. June 11th. I once again went back to the day before the accident. I sat on the bed and started to review the situation. First of all, Zhang Huan climbed up to the rooftop railing because he wanted to save my cat. Why did I figure out the cause of his death, but the ending didn't change? Zhang Huan was still dead and I was still back in the loop. There must be something wrong. There must be some point that I didn't notice. Things, people, places, it's all consistent. The time isn't wrong either. The characters are same. What's different is I'm sitting on my bed with my head propped up, thinking. My cat walked slowly in through the doorway, turned in a circle, and pounced on the bookshelf. The bookshelves are wooden and wobbly. I suddenly remembered what Uncle Li said about it running up to the rooftop on its own. Uncle Li, and Chaoyan. I overlooked a few important people who had never appeared before. Whether it's Chaoyan or Uncle Li's family, these are people who never appeared when I first saw Zhang Huan's death. I didn't know Zhang Huan's feelings for me before that. I never realized his emotion in the previous cycles. He climbed up to the rooftop to save this cat just because it was my cat. I feel a slight headache at this moment. The cat was the most important accident point. I looked up and saw the kitten right below the book. I sprang to my feet and rushed over to it, scooping it up in my arms and falling to the ground on the other side. At that moment, some fragments of memory squeezed into my mind. I don't know why I suddenly remembered the scene when I first met Zhang Huan. It was a long time ago. The cat was left to me by my late father, and I cherish it very much. Once it ran out into the road, a truck came from the other side. I was afraid it would be knocked down, so I jumped on it without hesitation and tried to push it away. At the same time, a tugging force pulled me and the cat backward. In a state of shock, I turned my head and saw the boy behind me. That was the first time I saw Zhang Huan. The sunlight warm upon his head, and my vision became blurry. I couldn't make out his facial features, but I heard him constantly panting.
You scared the hell out of me. How could you pounce like that? Cats have the ability to sense danger. You have to protect yourself first, okay?
Thank you for saving me. I feel my face is burning. Thinking back to when we first met, it seems like something sprouted in my heart. But I never thought of this before. It was as if these things had been stripped from my mind. I rushed out the door and ran to Zhang Huan's house. Zhang Huan! Zhang Huan! Zhang Huan, are you home?
Xiaoyan, what's wrong? What's the matter with you in such a hurry?
I looked at Zhang Huan, who had accidents several times in front of me, but now completely unharmed. My nose was sore and I couldn't stop the tears from falling down. I'm sorry, Zhang Huan. I forgot something. Very sorry, it was me. I kept crying, my speech was broken and I couldn't catch my breath. It was me, I forgot. I like you. Zhang Huan's eyes glistened with tears and he breathed a sigh of relief before reaching out and hugging me.
It's fine, it's fine. It's all in the past.
I cried in his arms and couldn't catch my breath. He held me and patted me on the back like he did when I was a child, comforting me like an elder. He protected me and tolerated me all the time. I'm sorry, Zhang Huan. I'm sorry, thank you. Zhang Huan looked at me and smiled, his eyes shining brightly. My name is Xia Yan. As you see, I'm a senior in Jinan High School. I suffer from a very serious disease, a very serious amnesia and hypochondria. I forget a lot of things, including something very important to me. I've forgotten the boy I liked and that I was the one to fall in love with him from the very beginning. Zhang Huan told me that what I encountered was not a loop at all. It was the image I imagined and dreamed in my mind, frame by frame. I would dream about what I was afraid of. I was afraid of losing Zhang Huan, afraid of seeing him disappearing in front of my eyes. I didn't admit that I was suffering from such a serious disease, and had always refused my family's attempts to send me for treatment. But now I'm proactively asking for treatment. I don't want to forget Zhang Huan anymore.
Feeling better?
Yeah.
Do you still remember who I am? Ha ha ha.
Of course I remember. You're Zhang Huan. You are my favorite person. He began to laugh again, and as he laughed his eyes reddened. I took his hand, like he used to comfort me. It's fine, it's all in the past. The first light of the morning poured in, and the sun rose, as if everything was slowly getting better. After that, Zhang Huan would bring me food to the hospital every day. Because of his care, I was soon discharged. We worked at a coffee shop together, took care of kittens, and sometimes he would tutor me in my homework. We always stayed together as if we'd never been apart.